Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of Parashat Pointers, where we delve into the weekly Parasha. We look for inspiration to parent our children, but ultimately it's the inspiration for ourselves. This week's Parasha, we have some beautiful dedications. We have a dedication in honor of the bar mitzvah of Alan by Mr. and Mrs. Israel Sutton. We have a dedication by Mr. Albert Dweck in honor of his wife. We have a dedication, Lilui Nishmat, Chaya, Sima bat Natan, on her yahrzeit. So there's a lot to talk about. This week is Parashat Terumah. We learn all about the tabernacle, the Mishkan, that the Jewish people used to bring with them everywhere they went in their travels in the desert, and it was like a mini Beit HaMikdash. And in this Mishkan, there was many different vessels, and one of them was the Ark, also known as the Aron. Inside the Ark were the tablets, the 10 Commandments that Moshe Rabbeinu brought down. And it was beautiful. It was made out of wood, but it had like the inside and the outside was gold. On top of that was this kaporet, this golden cover, also made out of gold. And coming out of that kaporet were these two cherubim, we called kerubim. They had these little faces of children, and they faced each other with these wings that were like this cover on top of the ark. Unbelievable. Now, there's a lot of discussion about what's with these kerubim, what is it all about? What does it represent? And it gets very specific. Says Rashi, the pasuk tells us it has to be made out of gold, one piece of gold. So you can't go and make these two little kerubim, and then you make your ark cover, and then you make the attachment, you solder it. No, says Rashi, not allowed to do that. It's got to be one piece. You have one piece of gold coming out of the Aron, out of the kaporet, one big piece, and then you take either they call it a hammer or a mallet, and you smash it in the middle. And now you basically carve out these kerubim. Seems like a very technical issue over here. Does it really matter how we make it? Make it separate, make it together, make it one piece, two pieces? Who cares? The answer is, if you understand what these things represent, then it has enormous significance. Enormous. Because the keruvim represent our children. They're children. As the face of a child, it's our children. And the Aron is the Torah. And the lesson is so deep. You can't have two things. I have my life, I have my children, right? I have my life, I have my job, I have everything else. And then I have this Torah. Two separate things. That's not how it works. Torah cannot be found in the halls of the yeshiva only, or in the halls of the shul. It's everywhere. It's part of our life. It's an intrinsic part of who we are. And the children, to really build children that have a connection to Hashem and a love of Torah, they have to be one piece with the Torah. Everything is part of one thing. It can't be two separate things. There has to be an organic connection to it. Everything you do is through the Torah's lens. But how do you get there? How do you make that happen? Listen very carefully. Rav Moshe Feinstein explains the first step in Chinuch. Now, Rav Moshe Feinstein was the Gadol Hador. He was the greatest Gaon in Torah. He knew everything, every answer to every question. He says, you know what the foundation of Torah is? Emunah, faith in God. You want to build this foundation in their life that Torah is part of them, that the children are an outgrowth of Torah, you got to go to who gave us the Torah, Hashem. That's where it's at. Hashem's got to be what they hear. And from the outset, everything is Hashem, Hashem, Hashem. The building blocks of the relationship to Torah, to mitzvot, to a life connected is a foundation of connecting our faith in God, loving Hashem. They have to hear you talk about Hashem, what Hashem got me, what Hashem brought me, what Hashem does for us. And you got to tell them, I'm your parent. I'm an emissary of Hashem. Whatever you have, it comes from Hashem, through me to you, but it's all from Hashem. Then it becomes an emotional connection that the child feels to Hashem. He hears his parents thanking Hashem. The child grows up in an environment feeling that Hashem is there. Hashem is everywhere. He's part of everything that happens. He's not this separate thing. He's everything. You find anything, you eat something, you get something, you stub your toe, oh, Baruch Hashem. It's important that they hear these words. Im Yitzeh Hashem, if Hashem wants. Baruch Hashem, oh, bless this Hashem. But more important than hearing the words, we also have to live by these words. It's got to be real, can't be fake. The pasuk in Yirmiyahu says, faith was lost, it was eliminated from their mouths. The altar from Kelm, the great rabbi of Simcha Zissel of Kelm, he lived from 1824 to 1898. You know what he says? You know why faith was lost? Because it was removed from them. Because they didn't hear about Hashem in their homes. That's what happened in the times of the second Beit HaMikdash. Hashem wasn't part of the lifeblood. He wasn't part of the lexicon, the vocabulary of what people were saying. When a child doesn't hear that in their house, then that's not life. He only hears it in yeshiva, or he only hears it in shul, but when he gets home, there's no Hashem. Hashem does not running the world. No, that's where he's got to hear it. When Hashem is the focus of the home, it builds up the kids' midot. And when they do something nice, you know what you tell them? You're acting like Hashem. You're acting with the same character traits as Hashem. That's what we have to do. You praise your kid like that. Recently, there was a boy who came to my office, a kindergarten boy, 5-year-old boy. He came to tell me that his mother's going to be having a baby soon. I said, wow, that's so nice. That's so beautiful. He goes, yeah, everything's going to be good. Rabbi, it's all in Hashem's hands. And he tells me, it should be Bishlua Tavag. I'm like, what? What's Bishlua Tavag? I don't know. That's what my daddy says. He keeps on saying, everything should be Bishlua Tavag. I'm like, you mean Bisha'at Tova? He goes, yeah, that's it. That's my daddy keeps on saying. That means that Hashem's going to make everything happen in the right time. It's a 5-year-old boy. It's part of him. Hashem is part of his life. Hashem is not something he walks into. It's part of who he is. Let us work to raise our children with these values. In that merit, we should see children that grow into the people who live with Hashem every moment of their lives. Shabbat Shalom.